friends, it's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. Welcome to Wonderful Wednesday. This is my new weekly series where I will share each week a themed project. The first week of the month will be the tag of the month, the second week the banner of the month, the third week the birthday card of the month, and the fourth week will be the flower of the month. And if we got an extra week, we'll do a wild card project. So it's going to be a lot of fun. This week, this is our tag of the month, and I just got Stamparia's new Brocante Antiques, and this is a beautiful collection. It's their classic aqua, pink, beige, and brown color palette. This is the single-sided 8x8, and while I am a lover of double-sided papers, sometimes you do want a single-sided paper. Like if you're covering a tag, you hate to waste the pattern on the back. Also, some of the patterns in this single-sided pad vary from the patterns in the double-sided pad. Here's our beautiful images, sweet little tags, these quadrant squares, which are always handy for backgrounds and that sort of thing. And then on the back cover, there's beautiful borders. This is the 12 by 12. This is the double-sided 12 by 12, and it's quite lovely. Make sure I'm in so you can see as much of this as possible. On the back inside cover, you've got all these great cut-aparts, and then just these rich vintage images, what we love the most about Stamparia papers. I love the sewing imagery that is throughout. And these beautiful antique books, Tiffany lamps, just all kinds of gorgeous, really, truly gorgeous images. And of course, teacups make me happy. Look at this, isn't that lovely? There's all this vintage china. It's like taking a stroll through a beautiful antique shop. And then of course, antique toys and teddy bears, really, really sweet. Cameras, if you're a camera buff. Clocks, if you love clocks. So there's stuff in here we could do for masculine or feminine. And then these beautiful focal images. And then tags, which I love. And then cut aparts on the inside back cover. I also purchased the 8x8 backgrounds, which I've cut a bunch of these up. But these are great to have. They're wonderful layering pieces, and the colors are great. And then for the first time, I got their washi pad, and I haven't used this yet, so we'll kind of discover this together, but the images are gorgeous. And so we'll see how this works. I'm kind of excited about this one. I also purchased the ceramic pen that they recommend to cut this out. Evidently it cuts better than scissors would. So there's just all kinds of great bits and pieces in here. And then, because they're fun, I got a few of the ceramic cup rub-ons. I got the adhesive ephemera, which has that wonderful mica finish on it. Lots of pretty things in here. And then the die cuts. So I kind of went crazy on this collection. I love the color palette and I love the theme. And hang around, I'll be back to show you what we're going to make. So what are we making? Well, how about this super adorable tag mini album with a shaker cover. These are made with Graphic 45 regular tags, and you can see I've dressed up the cover with a shaker frame that I've treated with some mixed media effects, this sweet little tassel, ephemera pieces from the paper collection, this vintage silver spoon, some little beads, and some gardenia flowers. It has a top opening with a ribbon closure. And once you pull the ribbon out of the grommets, it drops down like this, and you get to see all the pretty pages that are inside. So it's a really fun album. Super easy to make, great for gifting, a really nice, fun little size. So stick around because the tutorial comes up next. To start making this little tag mini album, you're going to need 4 regular sized craft tags. These are the Graphic 45 tags with the beautiful vintage grommet. And I'm using the alpha tags from when I was on their design team. I just have a bunch of these. So I use these up. When you cover them with paper, you don't know. And then using your regular tag die, you're going to die cut 8 tag covers. And I use the background pad. I've inked all my edges with ground espresso ink, but we're going to set aside the papers for a moment as I show you how to create the little spine mechanism that makes this little folio so much fun. All right, so let me just keep these. I went ahead and put all these pairs together, and I want to kind of keep it that way. All right, so it doesn't matter what tag you start with on the front. From craft paper, I cut 4 3 3/4 by 1.5 inch strips of craft paper, and then scored at 1/2 and 1 inch. And these are going to be the little hinges that hold our tags together. And I'm going to bring in some 3/8 inch score tape. And what we're going to do, this is our front cover. So this is going to flip down like this. And I'm going to take my score tape and line it up like this. Carrot, oops. Remove the liner, and then I'm going to fold this down like this so that it's pretty much flat, and I'm going to line it up right at the bottom of my tag. And straight is good if you can manage it. And then just press that down. Bring your score tape back in, and you can see I've inked the edges on this as well. This score tape is going to go here. And then this is going to line up right along that fold. Nice and straight. So now what you've done is you've created this little hinged page that's going to fit together like this, all right? And you continue to do this with each one. Just lay this flat. I'll show you one more. But you do this before you add your patterned paper, because that way it covers up the hinge. All right. So this is going to go, and you want to line this up as well as you can with the previous hinge so that everything is uniform. See? And then your score tape is going to go right here. And then you're going to bring this tag in and just line it up. See? So there's one more to do. I'm going to let you do that one on your own. It's actually only need 3 of these tabs. So go ahead and do this one, and then you can come in. Once you've done that, you can come in and you can glue down your die cut patterned papers. So go ahead, add your last hinge, and then add your papers. Now that you've got your little book all put together, this is a piece of the same craft paper that is 3.5 by 3. And I've scored at 3/4 of an inch. I've scored at 2 1/4. And then this is going to go on the bottom of our little book just to stabilize everything. So I'm going to bring in my score tape, and first I'm going to do the bottom. And obviously this is a little bit shorter than the base of our tags, but it's going to work out just fine. And I want to make sure when I get into these creases that we're really got a good hold down there. All right. Remember, with score tape, you always have to burnish for it to really hold. Otherwise, it will lift and you'll be disappointed. All right. Okay, so I'm going to take my tag and I'll do it this way so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully I will be able to do it this way. And I apologize for my voice. We were outside a lot this weekend, and the pollen in North Carolina right now is fierce. So I'm a little froggy. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to come in and press this down. But you see your pages will still turn, but it just stabilizes that base. And now I'm going to put score tape on these tabs, front and back. And then this will allow it to stand up for display, which is going to be really fun. But your pages will still turn, and it just makes it really stable. And of course, you'll cover that with patterned paper, and I'll show you that in just a minute. There. So now we've got this nice sturdy base that will stand on its own. Now, from all those papers that you cut, and I've inked all my edges with ground espresso, you're just going to glue these down front and back on all the tags, okay? For the interior design of this tag, I want to have 3 pocket pages and 3 flap pages. So I went into my 8x8 pad of the single-sided paper, and I cut out 3 4.5 by 2 1/4 inch panels of paper. And we're going to score 1/2 inch on the bottom and sides of each piece. Then we're going to trim out the corners where the lines intersect, the scored lines intersect. And this makes a really nice pocket. You fold your flaps. I'm going to ink my edges because I think it needs it. All right, and these are going to go down. Move this out of the way and move this out of the way. these are going to go right here. That's where these are going to sit, is right here. Now, if you want to round the corners, you can bring in, if you have a 3/8 inch corner rounding punch, it is exactly the right size, but the 1/4 inch will do. It matches well enough. So I've inked up my corners, and I'm going to bring in my adhesive, and we're just going to put these down as little pockets on these pages right here. So you're going to have a little border on either side, but that doesn't matter. So go ahead and do this on this page and on this page. All right, y'all, let's keep working on this. I've got my little bottom piece put on. This is just cut from a scrap, and it is 3 3/4 by 1 1/2. So that takes care of that. Now we're going to go and work on the inside. I've done all my pockets, and in each pocket I've put a little ticket. This is from the 12 by 12, and a little postcard cut from the inside cover of the 12 by 12. So in each one, I've just done that, which is really cute. And then you can decorate up your pockets with various ephemera pieces or fussy cuts. The next thing I want to show you how to do, and this is going to wrap up the bulk of this tutorial. I want to do a pull-out page here on each of these down pages. So I went into my 12 by 12 and I cut a 4 1/4 by 12 inch piece of my patterned paper, and I scored it a half. Then I folded there, and I went 3 3/4 each time. 3 3/4, and you're going to have a little hangover on this outer edge. Just trim that out, and then I rounded my corners with my corner chumper. We're going to take this flap and glue it down. Like this. All right, and I went right up against the side, and this is why we have this nice 1/2 inch spine in between each one of these. And I made a mistake. Hold on, let me lift this real quick. Ribbon. We need a piece of ribbon. And I'm just going to cut a piece. I'm going to put it here, kind of halfway between. Now I can glue my flap down. Sorry about that, guys. But we're going to cover up where that came up anyway, so we're okay. All right. So now this will be a pull-out that goes this way and this way, but I want to cover up this hinge. I'm going to put some adhesive down here to hold my ribbon. And what I've done is I've taken one of the small focal images from the 8 by 8 pad, and I matted it on a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch piece of paper. Now what we're going to do is turn this into a pocket. And I've taken a 3 1/2 by, well, a 1 inch by 3 1/2 inch piece of my paper, folded it and scored it in half. This goes on the left-hand side. And on the top and the bottom, these are 3 inches. And these are going to go just like this. And the whole point is you don't want these to be seen, so you press them down so that they don't show. And this one's going to go on the bottom. All right, I'm going to put a little dab of adhesive here, a little dab of adhesive here. I'm going to bring my flap around. And we're going to glue this down. And this is going to go, here's our flap. So I'm lining this up with the flap, but I'm not going over that fold. Okay. And then I cut out this little postcard from inside the front cover. I backed it with cardstock. And this is going to go in our pocket, like a little secret message. And we can decorate these pages up any way we like. Oops, I got to go over a little bit more. Missed my mark there. All right. Yeah. That goes in the pocket. There we go. Now this will fold. Okay. And we're just going to tie a little bow, and we can decorate back behind. You can decorate back behind there any way you like to. And this holds this from flapping all over the place. So this becomes a lovely place. You can put photos, you can write little notes, you can, you know, whatever you want to do. So this one, here's the next one. And this one, hold on, I did the flap on the right instead of on the left, just to make it more interesting. I'm going to cut my ribbon. All right. And let's put this one kind of up here so that we stagger just a little bit. Just going to put a bit of adhesive right here to hold that ribbon. Here's our flap. And again, these are 12 by 4 1/4, and you score a 1/2 inch, and then you score every 3 3/4 inches. So see, this goes right here. Open this out. Here's our pocket piece for this one. And this time, because we're facing the opposite direction, our little gusset's going to go right here. And I cut these too long. I'm going to trim these down to 3 inches. So top. And this is going to go here, and there's my, I want to make sure that we clear that fold. And here's our little postcard that tucks inside. I'm going to wait for my glue to dry before I do that, so I'm not sad. And then this bow will tie over on this side. Okay. Just so you see how these opposite ones go. And then this one, the flap is on the left again. So go ahead and get those installed. I think that's the last thing I really have to show you as far as mechanisms. I'm just going to go ahead, decorate mine up, and then I'll come back and we'll build the cover together. All right, my friends, here we are, all finished. I love the way this turned out. Sorry, I got carried away. I was making this, and then I went, oh, you were supposed to wait, make the cover together. but I will tell you what I did. This is a little Melissa Francis resin frame that first I painted with a dark brown. And then I came in, I dried that, and then I came in and I brushed lightly over it with a watered down black, and I dried it again. And then I sprayed it with a copper glimmer mist and dried it again. And then I kind of went over the copper with the watered down black again and dried it again. And then the last thing I did was I came in with a metallic wax and went over all the raised areas. It's like kind of a patina color. I just did that with my finger and then sealed it with clear gesso. So that's how that came together. The back, of course, is a piece of acetate, and then this large piece is one of the adhesive ephemera pieces that shows the shop window. And I kind of mimicked the shop window by adding this mannequin piece here with a tassel that I had in my stash, a little snippet of ribbon, topped it with a really reasonable ribbon gardenia. I just saw, there we go, a glue web. This little teacup, a couple more gardenias. This is one of my vintage silver plate spoons. And I tied ribbon around it, then added foam tape to the back, a couple of layers, and then attached foam tabs on the handle. Glued this down, added the gardenia, put hot glue in the bowl of the spoon, and then put these little beads in. So that's how that worked together. And this ephemera piece has foam tape on the back of it, and there are 3 layers of foam tape back behind the resin frame. So the way this opens is you just undo this ribbon at the top, and then this flips down. And here is our pages all decorated with our ribbons. I created these little tags with small pieces of the chipboard ephemera, small keys from my stash, and more of those gardenias. Gardenias are such a beautiful old-fashioned flower. I just felt like they worked well with this collection. And then here's the little scene that I built. I left these blank because I want you to be able to put photos or whatever. And here's our little pocket that we made with our ephemera piece. Up here, I just added this little tag to the pocket, and a tag and a matted postcard from inside the front cover. Then this slips like this, and here we have another decorated page with another chipboard piece, key and gardenia. This one is decorated up with these hat boxes, the bird, and these pretty plates because there's the pretty teacup inside. And in this direction, you've got all the teacups, ceramic teacups, and then another postcard in that pocket. Then up here, I decorated with an ephemera bit of the scissor, the rose, and then a chipboard scissor. And we've got this tag with the scissors. And I thought this postcard worked well with this. And then the last one, another little chipboard tag. I just punched a hole with my crocodile. Key, gardenia. Here's the sweet teacups and roses. This goes out like this. So you've got all the silverware and stuff. This mannequin, of course. The peony. This goes this way. There's more silverware. And then last but not least, here's our little pocket. I added flowers back behind the plate and this little bow to the saucer. I just thought that was so pretty. And then a little tag and a little postcard in the pocket. So that is our tag of the month. Oh, on the back, I added this chipboard sentiment. So that's our tag of the month for April 2024 using Stamperia Bracante and I love the way this turned out. This is a gorgeous collection. I may have to get more. Thank you so much for joining me for Wonderful Wednesday. Tell your friends so we can all have fun here together. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you along for the journey. And I'll see you next Wednesday when we make our banner of the month for April. Thanks for joining me, friends. Go get your craft on. Bye.